Hello guys, welcome back to another Genshin video. So the 2.4 patch came out last night for Genshin Impact, and now we officially have Shenhe in the game. If you guys don't know, Shenhe is going to be a cryo support user who helps increase the damage of other cryo attacks. By looking at her kit, she's pretty simple but pretty complicated at the same time, so I'm just going to explain how her kit works and what teams you can use it to make the most out of her damage. So without further ado, let's get right on to the talents. Now her elemental skill is the most computing part of her kit, which is a Spring Spirit Summoning. It will grant all nearby party members the Icy Quill effect. It will deal cryo damage in different ways based on whether it's pressed or held. If you press it, she'll just do a little dash that will do cryo damage and will phase through the enemies. But if you hold it, she'll actually jump back and call down a Talisman Spirit to do AoE cryo damage. So depending on the situation or how you want to do things, you can either press it or hold it. But then we go to her Icy Quill effect. When any form of damage deals cryo damage to opponents, the damage dealt is increased based on Shenhe's current attack. The Icy Quill effect will actually be cleared once its duration ends, or after being triggered a certain amount of times. When you hold her elemental skill, the Icy Quill effect will last longer and can be triggered more times. When one cryo damage instance strikes multiple opponents, the effect is triggered multiple times based on the number of opponents hit. The number of times the effect is triggered is calculated independently for each party member with the Icy Quill. And the second part actually means, for example, if Kaya's E hits 3 targets, it will trigger Icy Quill 3 times instead of only once. So do keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out who to boost, that if you hit multiple targets, it will be triggered multiple times. And during the trial, they had the elemental skill at level 8, so we can take a look at the level 8 percentages. So the press and hold damage are pretty good. Definitely the hold damage is way better, and you get more benefits from also holding down the elemental skill. And the damage bonus for the cryo attacks are at 73% of Shenhe's attack. So for your artifacts, you're probably going to be wanting to get a lot of attack percentage. The more attack, the more damage your other cryo teammates will deal. And then we see the durations of the press and hold. If you press the elemental skill, it will last 10 seconds, but if you hold it, it will last 15. And also if you press the elemental skill, you can trigger Icy Quill 5 times, but if you hold it, it will go up to 7. Which means you can do 7 instances of cryo damage before the Icy Quill effect leaves. But it seems like the downside of holding it is that it will have a higher cooldown. So that makes more sense on why it gives more benefits. And now her elemental burst, which is actually named Divine Maiden's Deliverance. It will unleash the power of the Talisman Spirit and allow it to free roam in its plane during AoE cryo damage. Basically, this elemental burst creates a field that will decrease the cryo resistance and physical resistance of opponents hit within it. And with each slash, it will do cryo damage to opponents. This is honestly a very cool looking ability, and it will have huge benefits for cryo characters and physical damage dealers. For level 8 talents, it will do 161% skill damage, it will decrease the resistance of cryo and physical by 13%, its damage over time will actually be 53%, the duration is 12 seconds with a cooldown of 20 seconds, but an energy cost of 80. So this is definitely on the higher energy cost, so you might also want to build a little bit of energy recharge on your Shenhe if you want to proc this more often, but you're also going to be running her with cryo teammates, so it probably won't be that necessary. Her first passive is where any active character within her burst will actually gain a 15% cryo damage bonus. So if you're using this with like Ayaka, main DPS Kaya, or Ganyu, this is definitely going to be helpful. And now this is where the situational thing where pressing or holding your elemental skill actually reaps different benefits. If you press the elemental skill, it will increase burst and skill damage by 50% of all party members for 10 seconds. But if you hold it, the normal, charge, and plunging attack damage will be increased by 50% for 15 seconds. So this will definitely change up how people play, and if you want to press or hold based on your current cryo character that you are playing. For example, if you're running Ayaka and you want her elemental burst to do big damage for the first 7 hits, then you can press Shenhe's elemental skill and then use Ayaka's burst, it will just increase the damage by a crap ton. But if you're Ganyu and you want her charge attacks to do even more unbelievable damage that it already does, then you can hold down the skill and it will increase your damage of her charge attacks by 15%. So pressing or holding will definitely whip different benefits for each character that you are playing or what attack you want to do next. I also want to quickly go over her constellations just to explain them to you, just in case you are wishing for constellations. Constellation 1 gives an extra charge on an elemental skill, so that's pretty helpful because you can probably press the elemental skill and then hold it to get both the elemental skill and burst damage and the normal charge and plunging attack damage bonuses. Constellation 2 is that her elemental burst will actually last longer, and any active characters that deal cryo damage will do 15% increased cryo crit damage. So basically while you're in her burst, any cryo character basically consider them having plus 15% crit damage. So that is also very nice. Constellation 3 increases the level of elemental skill. Constellation 4 is when characters under the Icy Quill effect and do cryo damage, Shenhe will also actually gain a Skyforce mantra stack. And when Shenhe uses her elemental skill, she can consume all the stacks, increasing the damage of the elemental skill by 5% for each stack consumed, which has a max of 50 stacks. I'm not sure if you can even get up to 50 stacks, but that is pretty cool how you can get so much elemental skill damage bonuses from this constellation. But from what I see, you can pocket off 7 times, so you can get a 35% damage bonus from her elemental skill if you get 7 stacks. Constellation 5 increases the level of the elemental burst. And Constellation 6 is when characters trigger Icy Quill's effect using normal and charge attack damage. It does not count towards the trigger quota. Okay, that makes more sense. So if you have Constellation 6, then you can definitely trigger this up to a maximum of 50 times, way easier. So if you have Constellation 6, you'll be doing normal and charge attack damage that has a lot of attack increase. Very often it will not win out unless you want to use an elemental skill or elemental burst to trigger off those quotas and do maximum damage, and then refill it with another Shenhe elemental skill. So that's actually really cool. Now time to actually show this in-game to show you what it's like. Now if we go to these slimes, we're gonna press the elemental skill. Manifest. And now you see these cryo talismans all over our characters. If I switch to Kaya, he still has it, to Lisa she still has it, and even to Jingling. Now those are the Icy Quill effects that will trigger each time I deal an instance of cryo damage. So I'm gonna press it again, and now my Kaya's gonna actually use the cryo quills. Dodge this. And that did 3 instances of cryo damage, so that used 3 of my stacks. And then we can also hold it, she'll jump back and do AoE cryo damage like that. So to test this out, Shenhe actually has 3,346 attack. She has the Calamity Queller, and the 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Shimenawa. So Kaya's E before proccing Icy Quill does 5,924 on the crit. Now I'm gonna proc the Icy Quill effect. And now his elemental skill, 9,156. That's like nearly like a 3,600 I'd say. I'm doing the math in the head as I'm doing this, so I'm not really sure. But that is a good amount of cryo damage increase just from holding down an elemental skill. So now I'm going to do this in an entire rotation. I'm gonna pop Lisa, and... okay, they're just dead. But also keep in mind, if you press it, the elemental skill and burst damage will be increased. If you hold it, normal charge and plunging attack damage will be increased. So let's see, now I'm also going to stand in Shenhe's burst when we activate it to also see the 15% cryo damage bonus going to work. And since it's an elemental skill, we actually want to press it, and then pop her burst, and then elemental skill, 12,403. That was such a huge increase already. And now his burst damage will be increased since he held it, and okay. This is actually a really good character for if you love cryo teams. If you already are going to wish for Ganyu, or if you already have a Gaudy Ayaka, or Chongyun, or a Kaya, this is definitely a character you should be wishing for. It's also safe to note that Icy Quill will also be triggered from animal absorptions. So if your animal character absorbs cryo and does cryo damage, it will also trigger Icy Quills. So you're not completely limited to cryo teams, but it is highly recommended you do pair up with at least one cryo damage dealer. And yeah, that's basically her entire kit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are wishing on Shenhe, good luck. I personally am not, because I have like no cryo damage dealers built up at all. So I am going to be skipping her, unfortunately. But to those who are, good luck. I hope you don't miss the 50-50. And I hope you guys are enjoying this new 2.4 update. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next video.